Okay, question number 9. Which representations have the same rate of change of y with respect to x as the equation 3x plus 5y equals 15? Okay, so rate of change. Rate of change is another way to say slope. So if I want to find the slope of this standard form equation, I cannot look at the equation and say my slope is 3. No, no, no. I have to rearrange this and make this y equals mx plus b, because that is one of the two formats that I can look at and know my slope just by not doing any work. But I have to rearrange this first, which means the x has to move. And when I move the 3x to the other side, I have to subtract 3x from both sides. And so now I have 5y equals 15 minus 3x. Okay, well I don't want 5 y's, I want 1 y, so I have to divide everything by 5. And now I'm going to get y equals, so now I've got to do some division. Okay, so I've got 15 divided by 5, and that's going to give me 3. And then I have a negative 3 divided by 5. And remember, since this is beside the x, it's going to be my slope, and I want this as a fraction. So I'm going to say math, option 1 for fraction, and it's going to be minus 3/5 because my slope is negative. Okay, so now I know my slope. Find the x, my slope is negative 3/5. So m equals negative 3/5, which means that my slope is negative, therefore my line should be should be nice, negative, and slanted down. So if my graph line's not slanting down, I know it does not match the slope of my standard equation. Alright, so let's look at option 1. I notice it is in y equals mx plus b format, so all I have to do is find the x, and I have found my slope. Is my slope a positive 3/5? No, it is not. So option 1 is not going to match my slope. Okay, option 2. I see this is point slope, and remember, point slope is y minus the output value is equal to m parentheses the x minus the input value. And again, this is the other format that you can look at, and you can find your slope just by looking at the equation. Okay, so here's my slope, negative 0.6. Well, I want to figure out what negative 3/5 is as a fraction. If I look back in my calculator, when I changed the decimal negative 6/10 to a fraction, those were the same values. So this is my slope. So option 2 is going to be a keeper. So if I look down at my answer choices, I can know immediately I can get rid of G because option 1 is not supposed to be there. So G is out. I can also get rid of option J because option 1, that equation, does not have the slope I'm looking for. So now it's between F and H. So now I'm going to go to 3, and I have a graph line. And remember, if I want to find the slope, I have to get the ordered pairs. So that's going to be negative 3, 7, and this has an x value of 6, an input value of 6, and an output value of negative 8. And now I'm going to find the slope of my equation, just like I did before. I'm going to do y minus y over x minus x. So 7 minus negative 8. Remember, that subtraction sign still has to be there. That is not the negative on the 8. I still want to see the negative on the 8. And now I'm going to do negative 3 minus 6, just like we did in class when we talked about slope. So I'm going to have m equals, now I'm going to do some subtraction, 7 minus negative 8, which is going to be 15. Over negative 3 minus negative 6. Oh, nope, I typed that in wrong. It should be negative 3 minus 6, negative 9. And now I've got to simplify my ratio. So I've got to type in 15 over negative 9 is going to simplify to negative 5/3. Does that match the slope we want? No, it should be negative 3 over 5, not negative 5 over 3. So option 3 does not work, which means option 3 does not work. Okay, let's check option 4. Okay, again, I've got a table of values. Well, I can find the slope just by picking out 2 input and 2 output values. So I'm going to use my output values. I'm just going to use the first one, 5 minus 2. And then I'm going to use negative 15 minus negative 10, and now I'm going to solve for my slope. 5 minus 2. That's going to give me 3. And I'm going to have negative 15 minus negative 10, which is going to give me negative 5. And now I want to simplify my ratio. Negative 3 over 5 is going to simplify to negative 3/5. That fraction is just going to move out front. So this is the slope I want. So option 4 matches the slope of my standard form equation. So the correct answer is F.